Good morning, everyone. Let's see, I think we're just waiting. There she is. Okay. Hello, everyone. Happy Friday. Welcome to Open Office Hours. I am Crystal. I'll let the ladies introduce themselves.
Hey, everybody. It's Tatiana. Welcome. Hi, everyone. I'm Brandy.
Hey, everybody. It's Hannah. Howdy.
Howdy. Anyways, well, thank you so much, everyone, for joining us. If this is your first open office hours, welcome. These are really fun. This is a great way for the community to get together and ask questions. And with that said, we do use the Q&A. So if you see us glancing off screen or anything like that, we're probably checking the Q&A out or preparing our responses. But any questions are welcome. So it really doesn't matter if you are actively trialing Syncro or if you've been part of the community for years. All questions are fair game. We'll do our best to answer. And if there is anything that we need to get a little bit of backup from technical support, we'll let you know that we're doing that, or we will probably simply ask you to submit a ticket if that's required. But really, any questions are welcome. We're happy to be doing these. If you're joining us, again, I see some familiar faces. Welcome back. We're always happy to have you. Last little bit of admin stuff. We do record these, and they usually are uploaded to our YouTube channel within the day. So usually by this afternoon, you'll see those uploaded to YouTube, and you can check out any of the others that have been previously recorded. So with that said, I know every once in a while it takes one person to just hop in there and just ask a question. So don't hesitate. Feel free to just hop right in there. You know, one of the things that I was curious about, and you can just like throw this into the Q&A too. It was brought up in a channel the other day. When we're demoing the product, we usually have our screen like light mode, but there's also a dark mode of the app. I'm just really curious. People in this room, I know we have a lot of our Syncro subscribers in here. I'm really curious. Do you guys use the dark mode or do you use light? Because I loved what Brandy's customer said the other day, so I was just curious.
And it also looks like today your name needs to be either Chris, Christopher, or Jeff to be in here, because there's like that takes up like 8 of you, which is crazy. Oh, Ralph is asking how to change it to dark mode. I'm the Chris. That's funny. I love it. Cool. I can show you how to do it if you want me to real quick. A lot of people don't know it's here, so let me just share the right screen. Share. Okay, so up here where you see your name, where you see Demo Engineer, you'll just click on your name, and then there's dark mode right there. And then near the holidays, we do a really fun, extra special version of our little system here. You'll have, who knows, you might have snowmen, reindeer, snow, fun stuff. We're fun.
Yeah, I love it. I love the little lights that they do during the holidays. There's a couple in here. Might as well just kind of address this right out of the gate. I know that a lot of folks definitely have Kaseya on the mind and security on the mind, and that's 100% valid, and it makes total sense to me. It's on our minds as well. We feel for Kaseya. We feel for all the MSPs that are using Kaseya and have been, impacted by the breach. What we'll do is we will post in we'll post in the chat that you can grab. We did, our security and engineering team did release kind of a statement on where we stand. Obviously, security is incredibly important. I will say that I'll be the first to say that I am not on the security or the engineering team, so I wouldn't be able to maybe answer any specific questions, but it is obviously like you're saying, it's at the top of mind for everybody. So I'll go ahead and grab that blog post and add that to the chat as well. The other thing that I was going to just grab, yeah, Jeff, nested policies, nested policies, nested policies. We hear you. We are absolutely working on it. And while I don't have a specific time frame for you, I know it's awesome. We did release a deep dive video, right? Yeah. So it'd be cool. I think we can share that too, just to show, like, definitely proof that we're there. We're just kind of wanting to make sure it's perfect before we release it.
I think Andy even posted in the Facebook group last week that it was like 2 to 5 weeks away. So you can feel confident with that. And yes, since we have the video, it's like, it's done, right? We're just fine tuning some things. I can go ahead and take a couple of questions in here. I think the one from Frank was answered. I think that was about the security. If you have anything there, anything else there, just let us know. And then a couple questions in here about patching. So Jeff is saying, talking about a certain KB for the Zebra printer. Drivers really need to be able to hold a KB from installing. Totally hear you. I'm going to talk about the workaround real quickly because I'm going to address Chris's question too about how we get started with Windows patching to policies or companies. It's on the roadmap. I mean, I feel confident saying that. It's not just on the radar, it's on the roadmap. No ETA on that though. So if we go to our policies, we'll talk about Windows patching. In the policy modules here, I can go ahead and pop into Windows updates, or you can open an individual policy, of course, and you're going to be able to set up your patch policies here. Now, essentially, when you're installing Syncro on the device, we're looking for any patches that may be available on that device. And then using our patch policies here, it's taking the ones from the available patches on that device and scheduling them. So we're going to do that on a category level here. And I could say, all right, I want those 3 categories and I want those to run, weekly on a Friday night. And if you know that no one is going to be at those computers at 5 p.m. on Friday night, then you can go ahead and forcefully reboot. You can put it in the hands of your customers if you want to. This is up to you. Now I can have multiple different schedules here. I could go into an individual policy and I might have some that are going to run weekly and some that are going to run monthly. You can pick and choose those. So if I head down to my Windows updates, once you create those, you can plug those here. Now, when we do release the policy inheritance, it will be easier. And in the video, if we haven't dropped it yet, we can drop that for you guys. But I think that will handle a lot of the questions about individual patch policies too. Now, another thing to note is if you don't want something to install, if you're trying to block an individual KB right now, we would just recommend don't select that category. We do have, I'm happy to report that we have fixed this since last week. Our missing patches by KB and vulnerable systems report will take anything that you didn't select in those categories and show those as a missing patch. Now, I could run this vulnerable patch report every day if I wanted to, and I'd be able to install those now. And I could hold back the one that might be troublesome. I could also run a report missing patch, or this is going to be your vulnerable system. So any devices that are missing patches, and then I can go ahead and update those just directly from here. I could ignore new ones, which is 7 days or less, or stale patches if you want to. So holding back, yes, you can't block an individual KB number. We have a workaround. A lot of people are working through this. So you can feel confident in doing that. And our patching is definitely reliable. So if you have further questions or want us to dig in a little bit more, let us know. Right now, if you want to change, and I'm going into a little detail because there's not a ton of questions, but if you want to make a change on like all assets at one time, you could change them over to another policy. But again, with the policy inheritance, it'll be easier. Hopefully that helps.
That was super helpful. Thank you so much, Brandy. I'm going to take 2 patches questions kind of just to piggyback off of the things that you were showing here. First one is from Christopher. It says, how can we globally push the Microsoft update for Print print nightmare without having to go into every asset. So in the same section Brandy was just showing, that is where you would go since we released that update. If you head over to reports, missing patches by KB, as well as vulnerable systems, this is going to be, if you know that KB number and it is currently blocked, you can go ahead and say, I don't know which KB it would be, but you can, if it was that one, you can say, yep, let's go ahead and install selected, and this would push it across all assets that are missing that patch. So that's option number one. Another way to look at it is the vulnerable systems report. I also just on a whim went and looked in the community script library, and I actually searched for print nightmare, even though I've never actually dealt with something like this, but it did pull some results. It looks like there is a print nightmare fix, print nightmare fix right here. So if you guys want to take a look at that in the community script library, there's going to be a description of it. It looks like there's already 27 of you guys using it. And so if you do click into this, it'll give you the details around it. And then once you import it to your scripts, you'd be able to either run the script in bulk here through, you can do it either on a policy level, or you could create a saved asset search, searching for any endpoint that you know is going to fall under that criteria if it's missing, based on these search parameters here. And then once you select all assets that you want to deploy that fix to, go ahead and let's say I want to run it only to those 2 endpoints. You can go ahead and say actions, run script, and then pull in that print nightmare fix deploy script and fix the problem that way. So hopefully that is helpful to you there, Christopher. I also wanted to address another one from Ralph. He says, for Windows patching, can you enable a pre-patch reboot, not just a reboot if needed after patching? So that is a really good question. It's not available built out of the box, because when you're correct, when you're setting up your Windows patches, your Windows patch policies, you do have the ability here to tell the system to reboot, or how you want Syncro to respond if there's a reboot required, but that would happen after the patches are, or the updates are ran. So if you did want to run a reboot before you start your patching, you would do it in the same way, to where you would go to this assets and RMM section, click on this secret little hidden magnifying glass icon, pull out the saved asset search, and then just run a script. We do have a pending, or a reboot script for you to run across all of those endpoints in bulk. So just go to actions and then run script that way. So that is what I have for you.
Awesome. I was just going to grab this one just really, really quick. The question was, is Syncro Live supposed to work out of the box? Yes, it absolutely is. So if you have an agent installed on an endpoint and you are not having that experience, please submit a ticket to help@syncromsp.com. We'll want to investigate that for sure.
Awesome, thank you so much. I'm going to grab this from Ralph. If a user creates a ticket from the system tray, can they open the portal to see the status of the ticket? When I try this, all I get is to open another ticket. Am I configuring this wrong? Ralph, for the user to be able to access the portal, they do need to be a portal user. And so I'm just going to go ahead and share my screen. I'm going to show you a couple of things. So one thing that's easy inside the policy is to configure that system tray. And so what you will want to give them access to is not only access for the agent contact form, but also access to the customer online portal. So then that way it's an easy click. So just showing everybody that, let me go ahead and just remote into a session here. And so then that way, after they click to open the support request, they could then I'm so sorry. Let me go back. How did that happen? Go back. Oh, because the stop share is really close. Go to the customer online portal. Now, if they're clicking this and they only can access to submit another ticket, that means you need to change their portal permission group. And so where you'll do that is in the admin section. And so let me go to more and then to admin. It's going to be under customers and then portal user permission groups. And so in here, you can decide what they can do inside the portal. So they might be like a non-portal user permission group where they can only open a ticket. And so you go ahead and come through here and edit the permissions you want them to have. And then on a per contact basis, and you can change this in bulk on the main customer page, that then you would head over to your contacts and then go ahead and change the portal user permission to the specific group that you're looking for. Hopefully that helps. Again, you can also do it in the main customer page in bulk. So if you need to select the customers that you need and then change the portal users, you can do that as well.
I think that means it's my turn. Awesome. So I have a question in here from Vin. How can I get notification when new user is added to the machine? So that's going to be event ID 4720. I can show you how to add that. So let me go ahead and share my screen with you. And I just knew that off the top of my head. No, I just went in and Googled the event ID. So I want to show you guys how you can add any event IDs too. You literally just Google it, find that event ID, and then you can head into your policies. I'm going to go to policy modules and I'm going to go to event log monitoring. And then I'm going to add a new one. 4720, I'm going to add one right here. New user added 4720. A new user was added. And then you can add any additional fields if you want to. I don't really know much about this, to be honest, so I don't know what you would want to put in here. But there it is. And then now what's going to happen is, let me just go back and find it. It should show up here. Maybe not because I didn't select it. But anyways, now that I've added it, you'll just want to go in and click that little checkbox, whichever one you had added, 4720, I think it is. Maybe I didn't hit save. Anyways, that's how you do it. Just Google it, add it here. Nice thing is also with your automated remediations, you can use those. So I can go into my automated remediations and I can create a new one. And I'm going to go ahead and go to my trigger category. And then if you had added those and actually saved it, like I did not, then it would show up here. And then you can choose, okay, if that happens, how do you want to get alerted? Hopefully that helps. I actually think I might have grabbed another one in here too. Yes. So couple things. Possible to run a report of Syncro live sessions per tech. Is there a way to audit sessions that have been performed on Syncro Live and or Splashtop? So there's not going to be one that's going to be per tech. I'll show you. I thought this report used to show the technician that ran it. So I can confirm, but the asset activity audit report will be able to tell you remote sessions that have been run right here or started. That's going to be one place that you can run this. Now, I don't think it's going to show which technician did it. It's just going to say remote session has started. And I can't filter by technician. Another one would be in the reports section, your executive summary report builder. You can include remote sessions here. So let me just go into, yes, right here. So you would be able to choose like in the last 30 days, but this is not going to be per technician. So I realize that's like half of your question. Let me see if anything else does show it. I know if you go into the actual, that's why I thought it showed, because when you look at the actual device, I think it says the technician that starts, doesn't it? Am I losing my mind? It does say the technician that started it. So I thought that this would pull in the asset activity audit. Let me double check with our team because I could have sworn it used to show. So I'll definitely check with our team on that one. And then I think there's one other one that I would like to. Okay, Sam, can you run through a demo of setting up a user for remote access from what the checkbox is and rights they need in the portal permission group to have access to specific machines? Yeah, really good question. So the first thing that you're going to want to do is you're going to go to the customer and you're going to edit the customer. And then from here, you're going to scroll down until you see enable remote access. So this is what's going to happen. You're going to see, okay, in order for them to remotely access their device, you need to have MFA enabled for that customer. You're going to have a portal user and they have to have an email address. So from there, I'm going to go ahead and save changes. I'm going to go ahead and go over to the contact itself. And then I can choose, okay, enable remote access. So that would be another. It's again letting you know, because I don't think we have MFA enabled. I don't know that I have an actual email for this person. I don't. So those are the two places where you're going to enable. And then in the admin section, when we go down to customers and portal user permission groups, I think it was added in here too. You might not have to have it in here. I think it would just be like view all or view mine. So that's where you'll want to make sure that they can actually see those assets. But those are going to be the two places that you need to enable it. It won't be here on this portal group. So hopefully that helps you. And then I actually think I'll go ahead and cross one more off this list. Yes, is Syncro able to notify a user's device prior to accessing them remotely? Really good question. Policies. So great thing about Syncro is that we have either attended or unattended access as well. So yes, you're going to get a notification that's going to scroll across their screen, but you can choose if that's global. Let me find this. We have a lot of options in here now. If you want to require permission, you can do that. Otherwise, you'll notice if you go into your admin section, you can go down to your RMM preferences, and there's going to be a show Syncro live session indicator by default. That, if you turn off, will just still allow you to manually click the button that will show them. But you can even choose, like with Splashtop, if you wanted to show up as your MSP name, your name, the combination of both. So we want to make sure they're alerted if you want them to be. That's it.
That was super helpful. Thank you so much, Brandy. I'm going to grab this question from Hannah. Says, curious about sales flow functions in Syncro from contract to estimates to leads. We've played around with them a little bit, but are struggling to understand how they work together. Curious how you all recommend using them or other people's best practices. So I dropped a link into the chat box. It's a video that I made a little while ago, maybe less than a month, around how estimates work through Syncro. And I'll also share this with you guys today. So regarding kind of where you would start on the Syncro side with a sales process, obviously you would need to have the customer profile built out here, just to make sure that you are able to create an estimate for them and give them access to a customer portal. So I definitely recommend setting even if they're a lead, setting them up as a customer and then building out a custom field type and then just labeling them as a lead. Looks like we've been doing quite a bit of testing, but like something like this, you can either create a checkbox that says, yes, it is a lead, or create a drop-down menu, just kind of to signify that this is somebody that has yet to convert. Because once they exist as a customer, you are now going to be able to create an estimate for them. And that is going to be where the process would start. Is you would say, yep, I want to build out a brand new estimate. It's going to be for Larry's business. We know that he's still a lead, but create the estimate. You would pull in any product or service that you have in your products and services section. So let's say we're quoting him a project. It's going to take us 10 hours. There's a pretty cool feature in here too that will create upsell opportunities as well. So if you're like, they probably need 10 new laptops because they just hired 10 new employees, let's go ahead and add that, and it'll create a pop-up window. Usually it looks like we might have disabled that, but it'll create a pop-up window to say like, hey, if they need a laptop, do they also maybe need a mouse with it, if they prefer to use that as well. So you can generate that. Once the estimate is created here, you can now go ahead and publish this. And now this customer is now going to be able to see this via their customer portal. So I'm going to show you what it looks like from their perspective. Our estimate is 1258. Here is their customer portal, your logo here, of course. They would scroll down to this estimate section. They'd be able to preview what the PDF looks like. And so obviously, again, your logo here, here's everything we quoted them. They can approve. You can get a notification about that in your notification center. And then once that exists there, we're going to go ahead and refresh this estimate from our side. It now shows as approved. Now the process is up to you. Do you want to convert this into an invoice and just bill upfront for the entire thing? Do you want to create a ticket that now your techs can start tracking time against? The benefit here is if you do create a ticket, I'm going to go ahead and show you that all of those charges that you initially quoted them are carried over basically to the ticket. So if you go to add and view charges, all of those details are going to be listed here: your labor, your laptop that you sold them, and then you'll have a note that, hey, this estimate was created from, or I'm sorry, this ticket was created from an estimate. And if needed to, you can actually take a deposit. Maybe you're collecting 50% upfront for the hardware only, something like that. So that's usually how I would recommend that, is if they are a lead, building them out as a customer through Syncro, which would give them access to estimates via the customer portal, and then converting that estimate into an invoice or a ticket from here. If they do decide to, give you the green light and you do onboard them as a customer, all you have to do at that point is just kind of remove that lead status from this custom field for them, and they're already built out into your Syncro software from here. You also then at that point can build out a contract for them, which more has to specify per customer pricing, and this is where you can just store the details of whatever it was that was finalized with the customer. Here's the start and end date, any SLAs that you have. This is more for like record keeping purposes, is what contracts would be used for. So hopefully that's helpful to you. Please let me know if you have any follow-up questions there. Again, I dropped a more detailed video into the chat box for you, and I'm happy to elaborate on any of those steps there as well. I also grabbed another question here from Gabriel. He says, could you speak a bit about Syncro's synchronized recurring invoicing with PAX 8? If conditions of a PAX 8 synchronized recurring invoice change, for example, adding or removing a user change in price, does the linked Syncro invoice update automatically? So this is a really great question. A lot of our users love PAX 8, and we love PAX 8 as well, because it's a win-win for you guys when they make it as easy as possible to organize your licenses that you purchase for them, and they are directly built into Syncro for billing purposes. So I'm going to go to the PAX 8 tab. I don't have mine set up here, but from your side, once you do have this set up, PAX 8 would be built into Syncro with an iframe. And so any changes that you need to make, adding users, removing users, updating pricing, anything like that, you would do that in PAX 8 right through Syncro right here. And then each and every single time PAX 8 is going to ask you, when you make any change, it's going to say, hey, which recurring invoice are we needing to update for this change that you're trying to make right now? And it would always take you to that proper invoice on the Syncro side to make sure that your invoicing is always accurately kept up to date and you're not leaving any money on the table. So yes, absolutely. It won't automatically do it, but PAX 8 will always prompt you to update the invoice, since that is the purpose of the integration between PAX 8 and Syncro, is to make sure you guys are getting billed or getting paid for the invoices for the licenses that you sell to your customer. And I did drop into the chat box as well how to set up your PAX 8 licenses, how it's supposed to look once it's all set up. There's like a quick 9-minute video that I shared with you guys, as well as our partners guide as well.
Oh, I think last.
Oh no, losing Crystal.
Yeah, are we still here?
Yes,
okay.
We're all still. Oh, there she is.
We're here.
There's Crystal. Awesome.
Back.
I've got a couple of questions in here. I'll go ahead and grab. So Zindy says someone added our help desk email to his advertisement list and we get tickets created from those. Is there any way to block an email address from sending emails to the Syncro help desk? I don't think you can do that with Syncro alone. You can set it up to where you only create tickets. You can only have tickets created from existing clients. So let me show you that. What I would do is, if you go into more, admin, I always say more, but you might have admin up here. I probably should too. So if you go into your mailboxes, you can come in and say, okay, if an email comes in to this email address, I only want to create tickets for existing customers. I don't think just natively in Syncro you can block an email, unless you guys know something that I don't, but otherwise, I don't know. Maybe using like your own email address, you would be able to block it, right? I think you could have a setting like that. I don't know. I'm just making things up.
There's a couple. Says, yeah, follow-up comments. Go ahead, Tatiana.
Yeah, Andy says you can mark an incoming lead as spam.
Oh, you can mark yes, you can do that. Let me show you that. I forget about that. if it comes in as a lead, right? Now, if it's coming in as an existing customer, there isn't a way to mark that. But if you do want to come in to your leads, yes. So just make sure that that email address that it's coming from is not listed as a contact in your Syncro instance. And then you would be able to, where is that?
It's on the previous page.
There we go.
Dots.
Right here. Mark as spam. Good call, guys. Great call on that one. Teamwork.
Yeah,
That's what I
thanks
have.
for your help.
Awesome. A couple other questions in here. So can we change the billing date in bulk? So that was not one of the options to change the billing date on invoices in bulk. I don't have an option for that right here. Sorry about that one. That would be a feature request. And Ralph, can you automatically create a contact when an email comes in from specific domains or a ticket is created from the system tray that includes an email from a specific domain? So there isn't a way to automatically create it from the system tray if someone new does it, but you can do it from an inbound email. So what you would do, you can have email rules, but rather than having to come up with an email rule for like everyone, you could just go to a customer, click edit. Even if you don't have any custom fields set up, you're still going to have a tab for that, and you'll have this one by default. If you add their domain here, it will auto create a contact. So if you want to make it a rule that when you onboard a new customer or you have any of your customers, you say, hey, if you add any new employees in your business, make sure they shoot over an email to this email address. It'll automatically create one for you. So hopefully that helps. And then Randy, I'm so happy I was able to help you with, he said, I added the new user event to policies for servers using those instructions while I did it. So you've been around a while, and I always like when people who have been here for a while add new things that we're chatting about. So good job.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Brandy. Chris has a question. How can we assign all contacts to a single portal user group, or do we have to assign them each individually? You can do that in bulk. Brandy, do you mind stopping share so I can share? Thank you.
I guess.
So here on the customers page, you can go ahead and select the client you'd like to do that for and hit bulk actions. You'll have bulk manage portal users. It'll ask you, it'll triple check which one you want it for. So we just have one. And then apply to how many, so all the contacts or just customers and contacts, so probably contacts for you. Then you'd be able to enable or disable and then select the portal permission group. And then that will bulk apply to all of those contacts. And then of course, if you're requiring multi-factor authentication, you'd be able to do that as well. And then I have one more from Randy. For the mailer, is there a way to determine the emails sent and the list of addresses? I sent out notices for updates and the users I checked didn't seem to get them, maybe spam. So Randy, in the mailer, there's going to be a little stats arrow. And so let me just go ahead and show that here again. So it's going to look like this. And so I think I clicked on this one. Just that gave us that little list. Yep. So it'll go ahead and give you those stats, let you know how many opened, if it was reported as spam, and a list. If you're not seeing this, I would recommend writing into support, and then that way they can jump in and help you.
I'll hop in. Sorry, my internet took a dive there for a second. I was just going to, there was a couple that I was going to just grab. The one was a feature request regarding Splashtop being, or Syncro Live being available via the mobile app. Right now, it does pop you into a Chrome browser. So I don't necessarily have a time frame on there. I know that that feature, that request is definitely often reported. The other one is more of like a community forum where we can, like, our community can track feature requests and that sort of thing. Right now, we do have the community-driven feature request track that Andy runs on Facebook. So like you'll see that here coming again soon, where you can request specific things and like piggyback on voting for those things. We were getting in a really, really cool routine with that. So we are going to start that up again. And those are more of like those quality of life improvements, like, hey, you know, this little thing takes me one extra click, or I want to like, you know, quickly be able to navigate here. So be on the lookout for that in the Facebook group. But to answer your question, I do think that we are planning on something a little bit more formal outside of Facebook as well. We do have, you know, our Reddit group also. So hang tight for that one.
I just have one more comment about like the mobile app with splash top stuff. So I don't know if this is officially that it works or not. I just had a user tell me that he has the splash top app, and as long as you're logged in to Syncro through the like mobile Chrome browser, he was able to use the splash top app. So I don't know if that's like officially it works or not, but someone told me they used it, so wanted to pass that along.
I always get nervous when it gets this quiet because I'm like, oh man, it's probably me, probably the next one. And I'm just forgetting that I am answering questions today. Sorry, I get all wrapped up in what you guys are talking about. Okay, I have one here, says TGIF, Synchro Travelers. Yes, thank God it's Friday. Question, has anybody reported an issue with selecting devices in a ticket, whereas you click an asset and the screen goes to the top, but is blank, forcing the tech to scroll back down to reselect it? This happens 3 or 4 times. The asset field is blank, and that is not the entire page. So I personally have not experienced this. I'm going to share my screen real quick and I'll show you what it's supposed to look like, as well as a benefit of attaching an asset to a ticket. So I was also on a PAX 8 deep dive for another question that I'm about to answer. So again, sorry for the delay there, but on any ticket, I think this is what you are referring to. Is if we open a ticket here, you have the ability, as you can see, mine has no assets attached. If you click add new, or for me, add existing, if I search by the name, I can usually click it and add it here. So it definitely shouldn't be blanking out if you're searching for assets. If that is something that you're experiencing, definitely please reach out to our support team so they can troubleshoot that for you. But the purpose of attaching an asset to the ticket, for those that are new to Syncro or maybe just still exploring in your trial phase, if you attach an asset here, this allows you to have access to RMM capabilities on a ticket. You can literally run a script without leaving the screen at all. You can launch into a chat session. You can open a backgrounding tool session or create a splashtop session straight from here without having to leave the screen at all. Again, if this is an asset that has the Syncro agent installed on it, see any custom fields that you have available for it just for quick access. So again, definitely for those of you that have not used that before, definitely please consider checking it out. It hopefully is going to be a huge time saver for you guys. So Gabriel, so your question is next here for me. It says, thanks for the PAX 8 info. Additionally, if you have a synchronized invoice in PAX 8 linked to a product in Syncro, can you use that product in a bundle of services to invoice the customer? Does using the product in a bundle break the connection between Syncro and PAX 8? So I did drop a PAX 8 partners guide into the chat box for you. I definitely recommend checking that out and also asking. This would probably be a better question for PAX 8 since this integration was built from their side. So I searched for product in here. I didn't see anything about bundles, but again, in this partners guide that I dropped into the chat box for you, it's pretty quick. It's only 19 pages. It's literally screenshot by screenshot of exactly how to set up and link the products from PAX 8 to Syncro. We do have the ability to have bundles in Syncro for products. So if you go to inventory, modules, and bundled items. So I'm curious if you do set up a bundle on the PAX 8 side, if there's a way to link it to the Syncro bundle. Again, I'm not 100% sure since when I searched for the word bundle in this PAX 8 guide, it wasn't there. So I would either check it out there, test it, or reach out to their support team since the integration was built out on their side. That's it for me.
I'm next. Couple of questions in here. So Christopher, to follow up, he says, I'm sorry, but my customers list is compiled of companies, not contacts. Clicking bulk actions drops down nothing. So I want to talk about a couple things because I think your first question was talking about contacts. So first of all, I like to let people know if you don't select any, you're not going to have any options. So you do have to select some to have a drop down here. And then when you click bulk manage portals, you're going to be able to choose if you want customers and contacts, customers only, or contacts. But in order to apply portal user permission groups, you do have to have a contact to be able to have a portal user. So you'll want to make sure that you do have contacts listed under that customer. And if you haven't gotten that far yet, each customer, you can have those contacts listed here. So you will definitely want to make sure that you have contacts in order to be able to set portal user permission groups. So hopefully that helps. And then FYI, some of us are privacy focused and refuse to use Facebook. Yep, we hear you. That's why we're coming out with some new things. And we do have subreddit as well. Sam just confirmed that he used the splash top tip that I mentioned, but another user said, I think it was Jeff, said it didn't work for him. So maybe try again. If you guys have any tips there, let us know. And then last one here. Oh, he got it. I think you're talking about your response to the portal. Yay! Woohoo! Winning. Next one is, does the chat show up in ticket notes? So let me show you the chat and I'll show you how it shows up in the ticket notes. So I could have this chat here. I'm going to create a ticket. And then what will show up, let's just say open office hours, remote support. Hi. And I'm going to create it. There's going to be a link to the chat. So you'll notice it down here as a private note. I can click right into that chat directly from here. And just so that you all know too, on a customer page, all chats are archived. So it's not for a certain amount of time or like the first 50, everything is archived. So you can see all of those too. Hopefully that helps.
Awesome. Thank you so much. Elizabeth has a question. Is there additional steps we have to do for the Wake on Land feature? We have attempted to execute this on multiple clients and it will not complete. Elizabeth, I dropped into the chat box just our help article on Wake on Land. It looks like there are a few things or requirements that you need to do, and they're all outlined there. If you continue to have an issue, please write into technical support so they can take a look.
I see this in here from Jeff just saying, note, I have had more than a few splash top connections fail. This is probably due to my old RMM having it installed. There is a redeploy script in the community library. So again, I love that. Thank you for providing that information for everyone. If you're experiencing that same issue, that's why I love open office hours so the community can help everyone out. So thank you so much.
I see another security related question. I think it would be best just to send those types of questions to our security team so you can reach them at security@syncromsp.com. They are going to be the best ones and the most knowledgeable about that.
Let's see, I'm reading these next two ones on the fly, but if anyone wants to hop in, you can.
Gabriel, I'll grab that question. He says, is there a way to easily move or copy contacts from one customer to another? If a contact moves or becomes affiliated with another customer, is there an easy way to copy them over other than manual copy paste? Other than the copy paste, I would use the CSV. That would probably be the easiest way. Other than that, there isn't a way to reassociate a contact to a new customer at this time, unfortunately. I'll show you the CSV might be like if you're doing this in bulk. It just depends on what's going to be easier for you. If you go to the contact section, you can, if you click import, it'll give you a template to use, and then you can move them over that way and then update the new one. But I feel like if it's one contact, just copy pasting those fields might be the easier option in that case. I'll pass that along for you though. That makes sense.
Jeff, thank you so much for the reminder to copy the chat link. So yes, chat links will disappear after this call, even though it's recorded. You have 16 minutes to grab all those awesome chat links that Hannah and Tatiana have dropped into the box. So feel free to take a minute to go ahead and grab those. And Corey says, why do you guys all use light mode, one dark mode to rule them all? Honestly, we all share the same account. We're on demos all day with you guys. And so if we're like changing, if one person changes it in the middle, it changes for the other person. So we just keep it light. It puts me to sleep when it's dark mode. I can only do that when it's like I'm trying to work, kids are asleep. you know. I like it though.
Someone commented earlier that they use light mode during the day and dark mode at night. And I'm like, oh yeah, that's the way to do it.
I do 6 a.m. demo, so sometimes I'll do, because I know I'm not messing with anyone at that time. Sometimes we'll do dark mode, but I don't know. I'm like a creature of habit, and I just like it looking the same way all the time.
Love it.
I think we lost T.
Randy has a question. We have a request from the techs for some way to notify them if there are notes on the asset when added to a ticket, say a system that is retired or other notes, so they know don't work on it, or if there is some issue to be alerted to. And so, Randy, I do believe that's a feature request at this time for an alert. I have a different idea though for you. So when a asset is attached into a ticket, you can always hit the magnifying glass and you'll get a preview of the custom fields. And so I would recommend kind of adding that information into a custom field. And then that way the team members can just know, okay, quick click there, and then you can add kind of that note right in there. Hopefully that helps.
Okay. I know it's someone's favorite to use the icons. Who wants to talk about icons?
It's my favorite.
I was going to say it's not mine, so go ahead and take it away.
I know it's favorite.
Yeah. Yes, I love that. That was the one on the demo earlier where someone said, if there's no beer icon, I'm not doing it. And we found the beer icon. Okay, so in custom fields, so Randy, you would need to do that from custom fields. So if we go ahead and edit our custom fields, and everyone remember you can have them on the customer, you can have them on individual contacts, as well as on assets. That then when we are editing our custom fields, let's go ahead and just do, let's do this one. That then there's going to be this option here, and then this will allow you to, oh, my internet is struggling, so sorry about that. Give you the access for the icons. And so there's going to be a ton of super awesome ones in here for you. There's a beer, there's a drink, there's arrows, there's sad faces, happy faces, all kinds of good stuff for you. Hopefully that helps.
Love it. You cannot edit the widgets on the dashboard right now, Sam. Sorry, just saw that in here, so wanted to answer that for you. Jeff, we did yours. Ian says, with the iPhone app, is there a way to limit what IP addresses it can be used from? I don't think it's specific to the app. I know, like, if you head into your admin section, you can come in and you can go to employees and you can restrict or you can allow IPs here. I don't think it's separate for the iPhone app. I think it would just be in general to use the site. So wanted to grab that, and I don't think, oh, I do. Sam says for Splashtop connection issues, support has said remove Splashtop from the policy and then add it back in, but that would affect all machines with that policy. I've created a policy without it, and I move the machine into that policy, wait 5, and then move it back. So I think he is giving a tip to whoever was having that issue, I think. So thank you for that, Sam. Look at you, just jumping in, helping other people out today.
Awesome. I'll grab this one real quick. What's the timeline for the macOS RMM agent to be out of beta? As far as I know, we're having great luck with our beta, really solid. So I would imagine pretty soon, but I don't have a specific date for you on that. But we are continuing actually to add some stuff there. Yeah, that's all I grabbed.
And Link just has a helpful comment for Randy's earlier question about, a note for the assets that are maybe not to be worked on. He just says, I have a checkbox custom asset field for retired. So that is an awesome setup for what he was hoping to accomplish. Thank you for that, Link.
Awesome. Yes, appreciate it.
Whoa.
I know.
We have no questions. We have 11 minutes.
Oh, Corey, If an asset is removed from Syncro, how can we verify that the AV license is removed at the same time? So when you actually when you uninstall the agent, it should uninstall all of the antivirus. What I do know, and it does depend on the antivirus, what I do know is you can verify in your Gravity Zone, like for Bitdefender, for example. I know you can verify, and also with WebRoot in that managed anywhere portal as well. You can verify there if they're still active or installed. The design is that it uninstalls it when you uninstall Syncro. But if you need to verify, it's usually done through those separate portals. What else? Let's see.
I'm just going to make a note about antivirus real quickly too. So no matter what antivirus you're using, if you're not happy with it, we do have 3 really great options with Syncro. So we do have Bitdefender, WebRoot, MCSoft. If anyone is interested in exploring something different than what they're used to, you can shoot us a message. We'd be happy to get you connected with someone from those respective third-party companies and get you a demo of their product as well. I know I've had so many people getting demos recently, Bitdefender, you name it. So if you guys want to be connected, you just let us know. Happy to help.
I grabbed a question here from Manuel. Says, we sometimes have machines that get replaced and that have custom fields in the assets and don't want to remove them. Is there a way to archive those assets? So I'm going to share my screen. I'm going to show you, I think the way to do this would be to merge a Syncro device with a manual asset or vice versa. Again, please test this. I haven't tested this for myself in a long time, but what you could do is, like, let's say, I don't even know if I have a manual asset here, but you could say, for example, let me minimize my screen. You could say, I want to merge this demo instance with my, is it here? Is it manage? I think it's in the actual endpoint. Give me a second. To where you can say actions right here, merge. And then what it would do in this destination asset, I'm not going to do it right now because this is our only demo machine, but you could say, yeah, I want to merge it with an unmanaged computer, but make sure that exists as an actual asset here. And I believe, again, I don't know if it needs to be a manual asset here in the Syncro device there, or this is the correct way. Again, test that on your own machine before you do it for your clients. But when you merge the assets, I believe this will retain the history of your device that used to have a Syncro agent on there that you're looking to kind of retire. Sounds like that's how I would do it.
Thanks, T. Couple questions about Sentinel-1. So you guys all are pretty loud and clear about that one. We would love new integrations, of course. Like, we're always looking at new integrations and we appreciate that. I would say on the radar, sure. Like, we're always looking at tools that you guys would like to use. I think they have an exclusive contract for a little while, but always on the radar. So adding your votes are very important. And I promise the sales team has voiced that request too. Let's see here. I see a question in here from, I don't know who it's from actually, but again, this is going to be a security. I think you've asked quite a few of the security questions. I would just reach out to the security team to get them answering these. I don't know anything about having a guarantee with our uptime, but we do have a 99.9% uptime and our status page is public. I've been here 2 years. Crystal's been here a really long time. Like, we have not ever had Syncro down for a lengthy period of time at all. So, but again, security related questions, I don't think we're at liberty to speak on this.
I have a question here from Travis. He says, any plans to push more PowerShell commandlet commands such as adding assets without going the API route? Also, any command to force sync the device? So I'll be able to answer the second question for syncing a device. That actually is super easy. If you go over to the policies, and you click into the policy that is applying to the asset that you're looking to force a sync to. You don't even have to make any changes. Just scroll down all the way to the bottom and then click Save Changes. So that would be the way to do it. I feel like we've had an update recently to where you can do it individually, but I don't remember how. So if you ladies can remind me or chime in, maybe I'm just imagining that. So that answers the second half of your question. The first half you asked to be able to push basically adding assets without going the API route. The only way to do that is, and there's two quick things I'll address here. We do have, when you're using Syncro Live, you can run PowerShell and command in the background, but that already only works if you already have a Syncro asset installed on that endpoint. So I don't think that's what you're looking for. If you're looking for deployment wise, to do it maybe via network, I do recommend checking out Domots. They're in our App Center. If you haven't heard of them before, they do have a free trial. You can check them out. I think it's like 21 days. And they are like a network monitoring, network mapping, and deployment via network. So that way you don't have to use the API. So those are the ones that I would recommend there.
Awesome. Yes, we offer a BAA. Of course. And so all you need to do is go into your App Center. And by the way, if you guys are considering taking on clients that are in the health industry and you are not HIPAA compliant as a business, we do work with the HIPAA compliancy group that can assist you in getting everything set up. So if you guys have questions about that, let us know. But there's also going to be an app card in here for HIPAA compliance. So you're already a customer of ours, so you can go ahead and start this process. We'll sign it. Typically takes about 24 hours for us to review. If you're not a customer yet and you want to start the process, I think you can get to step 2 and then we'll do this portion after, or you can get to step 3 and then we'll sign this portion after you come aboard with us. So wanted to just mention that. And then Corey, I'm going to answer Corey and Kimberly's questions kind of together. There's not a way to just automatically assign it to a certain policy after 60 days. We don't have a way to see like if a user hasn't been online for a certain amount of time, but you can absolutely set up a saved asset search for like this device hasn't checked in for 60 days. Whoops. And then if you want to create a group like this, I think I actually have a couple in here. So let's just see. Hasn't checked in for 10 days, hasn't checked in for 3 days. You could have one for 60 days and then you could just click on those devices and, you know, just say, okay, let's select those in mass and just delete them. Or change them over to a policy that's kind of like stale. It doesn't have any scripting or monitoring or things like that. AV, you could absolutely do that. So hopefully that helps both of you guys in a roundabout way.
I will grab this one from Randy. I found the icons on the custom fields for the customer, but not seeing it on the assets. Randy, you know, I might have misspoke because I can't find it either. I'll have to follow up with you on that just to triple check if it is available on the assets because I'm not seeing it either. So I will have to just follow up with you on that because I have seen other people put like icons in like the policies as well. So I'm wondering if they're using something else for that.
I was actually just typing something, but I can just answer it really quick. Randy, is there a way for us to do backups of our data offline? I'd like to have a regular backup of our own data in case XYZ, regional internet outage, ransomware. Is this possible now? So what I was just going to say is that we do have an integration with Dropbox. Like you can set up that integration and run those backups on, I think it's either manual or I don't know if there's a way you can do it on an automatic schedule, but I know we do have that Dropbox integration if that would be helpful. Yeah, was there this last one, Tatiana? I can't tell if it's been answered or not. Like I think this.
Oh, I'm so sorry. I'm just so excited to be working from a coffee shop today that I'm just all over the place. I can answer it again, but I really didn't answer it. Sorry, I cleared it off.
What's in your cup?
Out of the house today. Like that's how I feel like I would be if I was like anywhere other than my own house working.
What's it feel like to be out of the house? I don't know.
It's pretty wild, as you can tell. I actually did travel today. I'm in beautiful Coeur d'Alene, Idaho. So this background actually is real for once. No virtual. We're not in Italy. We're not in Greece or wherever. We're in Coeur d'Alene.
Awesome. Well, lovely. I wish you all a happy Friday. Thank you for joining us. The recording will be on YouTube, and hopefully we will see you all next Friday. Thank you.
Bye, everyone.
Yeah.